Hopefully you can hear me now. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. I just want to make sure my audio and everything is working well. This is going to be a 1 hour Vinyasa Flow. So if you have blocks and a strap available, that would be great. If you don't, that's okay. I'll teach without props and then cue you how to use props if you have them at home. We are going to do a little low lunge stuff. So you have any sensitive knees, grab a blanket. Otherwise, you can also fold over your mat and use that as extra padding for the blanket. And we'll start in just a couple seconds. Or sorry, a couple minutes. Alrighty. How do I... Hopefully you guys can hear me. I have a plugged in mic. We'll go from there. Alright, that seems to work. Perfect. Okay. Just make sure I don't have feedback. Perfect. Alright guys. Like I said, my name is Diane. I'm a yoga teacher over at Planet Granite Santa Clara. It's really great to be able to practice with you guys online streaming. We'll begin in just a couple minutes. If you have access to 2 blocks and a strap, that would be great. If you don't, it's all right. We'll be able to figure it out from there. Sorry, I had some technical issues trying to get the stream going. Let me just send this email and we'll be good to go. If you can find a comfortable seat with either legs crossed, one on top of the other, or just in front of you in an easy seat. I like to start seated and just kind of come to the room, get grounded. Alrighty, and we'll begin. So sitting in a comfortable seat. For those of you just joining, this is going to be a 1 hour Vinyasa Flow. My name is Diane from Planet Granite Santa Clara. And if you have any access to props like 2 blocks and a strap, that'd be a great prop to have. If you don't, that's okay. I'll go ahead and teach without props and cue you how to use your props. If you ever need padding underneath the knees, it's good to have a blanket or you can fold over your mat. So sitting in a comfortable position, back straight. Have your hands either one on top of the other in your lap or on your knees, palms up or palms down. And just close your eyes or have a soft gaze. And from here, do a little body scan. Just notice any sensations you might have in your body. Whether those are positive or negative, whether you're tight or loose anywhere. And notice the breath. Don't try and control it just yet. Simply breathe. Notice if you have a shallow breath or a deep, if it's fast or slow. And then from here, take a big breath in through the nose and a deep exhale out the mouth. One more big breath through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Now closing the mouth. We'll just take a couple breaths in and out through the nose, trying to have an even rhythm. Breathing in and breathing out. We'll begin on the inhale with a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 3. So inhale naturally and exhale. Now on your next inhale, count to 3. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Good. And just return to your natural breath. At any point, you can focus on the breath, having having even inhale and even exhale throughout your practice. If that's a bit much to maintain breath with movement, Just use your breath as a guide. Whenever your breath is strained or you're struggling, that might be a sign to physically come out of the pose a little bit. And you never want to feel like you're hanging out in a pose. All right, from here, if your eyes were closed, go ahead and flutter the eyes open. We'll begin on our hands and knees. Again, if you have a blanket, you can place that under your knees or fold the mat so that your knees have some padding. In this tabletop neutral position, our shoulders are directly above the wrists and our hips are directly above the knees. And from here, we'll begin some cat-cows. So on your inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. Good, one more like that. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. Now return to that neutral tabletop position and we'll incorporate lifting the leg up. So on an inhale, we're just going to lift the knee up and open it like a fire hydrant as if we were standing in down dog. And then bring that right knee to the right shoulder. Good. Bring that right knee up and over. And then bring the right knee to the shoulder. Two more. Up and over. And then bring that right knee to the shoulder. Up and over. And then right knee to shoulder. Return to that tabletop position and we'll do the other side. From here, inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. One more. Inhale, arch up, look up. Exhale, hunch and round the back. In that neutral tabletop position, you're going to lift your left leg up and bring the knee back so that you're doing almost like a fire hydrant on your hands and knees. And then bring the left knee to the left shoulder and then push it back. Do that two more times. Left knee to left shoulder and then push it back. One more. Left knee to left shoulder and then push it back. Good. Return to that neutral tabletop position. And from here, you're just going to push into a gentle child's pose. Now in child's pose, your knees can be together or your knees can be as wide as the mat, toes touching. And you'll just lower down with either arms extended in front of you, forehead on the floor, or arms behind you. Now if you don't go all the way down, that's okay. You can be lifted a little bit. It might be nice to even have a blanket underneath the knees. This is child's pose, and it's welcome to you at any time during this flow. Just breathe here for 2 more breaths. Good. Now from here, come onto your hands and knees, and come onto your back. We're going to play a little bit with the hips, opening up those outer hips. So on your back is flat on the ground. Your feet are about hip distance apart. And then from here, you're going to lift your right leg up. Put the right ankle right above the left knee. We're coming in to thread the needle. So right now, my left foot is on the floor. My right foot is right above the left knee. My right toes are flexed, protecting that right knee. And from here, with the hole you made, put your arms through and grab either behind the thigh or on top of the shin underneath that left knee. So right toes are flexed, pointing towards the right knee. And I'm grabbing behind my left thigh or my left shin. This is thread the needle. Later in the flow, we'll come to pigeon. This is an alternative to pigeon if you have any discomfort in the knees. Now from here, take 2 more breaths, but at the same time, either begin to push the right knee away from your body or pull your hand out and gently push it with the use of the hand. Just a couple more breaths here in this thread the needle, warming up that outer hip. Good, and then place the feet down and we'll do the other side. So back is flat on the floor, both feet on the ground. From here, lift the left leg up, put the left ankle directly above the right knee. Flex your left toes to help protect that left knee. Now from here, bring your arms through that hole you created and grab behind the thigh or right above the shin below the knee. Thread the needle on the other side. Left toes flex, pointing towards that knee. And you're pulling the knees towards the body, while at the same time trying to, whether with your hand or without, push that left knee away from the body. Really get a nice stretch in that outer hip. This is thread the needle. We'll stay here for just 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Nice. From here, put your feet down. And we're going to do what we call cow face legs, but on our back. So from here, just lift the legs up in the air. Have a slight bend in the knees. Cross the right leg over the left. So now your knees are stacked on top of each other and your feet have made like a wide V. From here, grab at the outer edges of the feet. And you can keep the feet close to the body, low to the floor, or you can lift the legs up while at the same time trying to pull the feet down towards the floor. The right leg is over the left with cow face legs, so our knees are stacked and our feet are like a V. You might be feeling this in that outer right hip. Breathe here. Just a couple more breaths. Pulling the feet down towards the floor to feel that stretch. This is a nice way to warm up the outer hips on your back, especially if you're not able to access cow face legs traditionally on the floor. Good. Now from here, release the legs, unwind the legs, and place them down. And we'll do the other side. Lift the legs up, have a bend in the knees. As you cross the left leg over the right, your knees are now stacked on top of each other and your feet are in a V. Go ahead and grab at the outside edges of the feet. And again, you can have the feet low to the floor, knees away from the chest. Or you can bring the knees towards the chest, the legs will lift. At the same time with your hands pulling those feet towards the floor. Should be feeling this in the left outer hip. It's okay if you don't feel it. You're going to feel it where you need it. But just play with knees close to the body or away, feet raised or closer to the floor till you feel something. Getting that outer hip stretch. Again, a nice way to access cow face legs if you're unable to do the more traditional seated variation. Good. Now from here, release the legs. And from here, you can rock and roll the length of the mat to come to a seat. If you're like me and you prefer not to do that, simply rock up to come to a seat. We'll come back onto hands and knees, and then push into our downward facing dog. Now, if this is your first down dog for the day or ever in yoga, make sure that your feet are at least hip distance apart. Hands are flat on the floor, fingers spread. It's okay if your knees are bent. It's okay if your heels don't touch the floor. Let the head be heavy. And if you'd like, you can even cycle the legs back and forth. Just warming up those hamstrings. Nice. Now from here, you're going to lift the right leg up and bring it between the hands, lowering the left knee onto the floor, coming into a low lunge. This is where you might want padding underneath that knee, or roll the mat over to have padding from there. Now in this low lunge, just make sure the right knee is directly over the right ankle. And from here, we're going to clasp our hands together and place them directly above that right knee. And just push into your leg from there. While at the same time, you're squeezing this left glute. So we're pushing right into our right thigh with our hands, while at the same time squeezing and engaging this left glute. Good. Couple more breaths here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now you can stay here, or you can begin to walk the right foot a little bit more forward so that you can lean deeper into that right leg. So my left leg is now extended. I'm feeling it more in my left hip flexor, the top of the left thigh. My right knee is still somewhat over the right ankle, which is why I had you move the foot up a little bit more. And you can push into that right thigh. Just stay here for a couple more breaths, or a little more upright. 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now you can remain here or in your other variation. Both variations, you can lift that left foot up and reach back with the left arm and grab that left foot. getting somewhat of a quad stretch here. Now, if this is too much on the knees, have some padding under it. You can also take a strap and reach for it there, or just stay in your low lunge. 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Nice. From here, lower the leg if you had it up. Place the hands on framing the front foot. Tuck the back toes and come into your downward facing dog. And from here, we'll do the other side. Just take a breath in your down dog. Lift the left leg up, bring it between the hands, and lower onto that right knee. Again, grab padding if you had it on the other side. Left knee above the left ankle. Clasp your hands and place them above the left knee. Pushing into that left thigh as you squeeze the right glutes. Keep that right leg active by squeezing the glute on the right leg. Breathing here. Really warming up that right outer hip by squeezing it and engaging it. Getting a nice hip flexor stretch on the right leg. Good. Now you can stay here, or you can begin to walk the left foot a couple inches forward to help kind of sink and deepen that stretch in the right hip flexor. Hands can remain clasped on the left thigh. You can still push into them if you'd like. Good. From here, you can stay where you're at, or lift that right leg up and reach back with the right hand for the right foot. Staying here, or in another variation of low lunge that we were doing. Just a couple more breaths here. Really feeling that quad stretch. Good. From here, release that right foot down if you had it. Tuck the right toes, place the hands on the ground, and step back into your downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, we'll roll forward to plank, and then lower down knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale to a baby cobra. Exhale, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Now from here, roll back into plank. You can hold plank, or you can lift the right foot up. You can hold plank with foot up or foot down, or from here you can take a 3-legged chaturanga. So come forward as you bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. If you are in plank, just push back to a downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to do the other side. Roll forward to plank. You either hold plank or lift the left leg up. You can stay here in plank or with the leg lifted, or at this time you can come forward a little bit to bend the elbows, take a 3-legged chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Now from here, in your downward facing dog, you're going to leave your hands where they are and just walk the feet behind the hands. Grab opposite elbows and just hang in this ragdoll. It's okay if the knees are bent. You can begin straightening the legs if your hamstrings are feeling open. But your head is heavy and your neck is relaxed wherever you're at. Take 2 more breaths in this ragdoll uttanasana. Good. From here, release your hands, place them on your hips, and inhale, come up to a stand. From here, you can have feet together, toes touching, or feet hip distance apart, hands alongside the body for Tadasana. Now we're going to do 1 round Jiva style for sun salutations. So hook your thumbs like this, bend your knees, inhale, rise up and arch back, mini back bend. Exhale, fold forward, clasp hands behind the back, straighten legs, straighten arms. Place your hands on the floor, take a big step back with the right foot, and look up in that runner's lunge. Place the left foot back and come into a downward facing dog. From down dog, roll forward to plank, lower knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From here in your down dog, roll forward to plank, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, bring it between the hands, and look up in that runner's lunge. Bring the back foot to meet the front and fold forward. Hook your thumbs, bend your knees, Inhale, rise up, arch back. Exhale, fold forward, clasp hands behind the back, straighten legs, straighten arms. Place the hands on the floor, take a big step back with the left foot, and look up in that runner's lunge. Step back into a downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank, lower chaturanga dandasana, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, roll forward to plank, lower knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, exhale, seat to heel, downward facing dog. Now from this down dog, lift the left leg up, bring it between the hands, and look up in that runner's lunge. Bring the back foot to meet the front and fold forward. Hook your thumbs, inhale, rise up, and arch back. Bring your hands to heart center, and just pause here. Close your eyes, pause in action. Reconnect with your breath. Good. From here, we're going to come into some sun Bs. So feet are hip distance apart or toes touching, hands alongside the body. From here, inhale, bend the knees, lift the arms up for chair pose, Utkatasana. Fold forward to Uttanasana. Place your fingertips on your shins and look halfway up. Exhale, deepen the fold. Plant your hands. You can step or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. You can also take knees, chest, chin. And then everyone meet in your downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're going to lift the right leg up and bring it between the hands and rise up to a warrior one. Come down, step back into plank, lower Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, and chin. And then inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. You're also welcome to just hold plank during any of those vinyasas rather than lowering down. From here, lift the left leg up, bring it between the hands, plant the back foot, and rise up into a warrior one. Exhale, fold forward, step back into plank, lower to Chaturanga Dandasana or Vinyasa of your choice. And then everyone meet back in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, you're going to walk the feet outside the hands, coming into a squat. So right now, my toes are off the mat, my heels are on, my hands are at heart center, and I'm pushing my elbows into my thighs. Staying here, breathing in, and breathing out. Good. From this squat, we're going to either leave feet where they are and rise up, or place your hands on the floor, turn the feet parallel, and come to a stand that way. Once you're at the top of your sticky mat, bring feet together or hip distance apart. From here, hands alongside the body. Inhale, arms up, bend knees, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, fingertips on shins. Exhale, deepen the fold. Plant your hands. You can step or jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Always know you can hold plank too. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Once we're all in our downward facing dog, we'll raise the right foot up and bring it between the hands. Stand on the ball of the left toes to rise up to a high lunge. Now in high lunge, our right knee is over our right ankle. You can stay upright or you can lower onto that knee if high lunge is a bit much. Hands at heart center or hands up. If our arms are up, just make sure we're not shrugging our shoulders to our ears. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Good. Staying in this high lunge for just a couple more breaths. Lifting the left kneecap to straighten that back leg as you push the heel away. It's often a lot nicer if you're really high up on those toes. One more breath here. Inhale, exhale. Now from here, we're going to come into lizard. So look down and place your hands on the inside of that right foot. Gently lower onto that knee and extend that left leg out. Heel toe the right foot so the toes are off the mat and the heel is on. And from here, just make sure your wrists are directly underneath your shoulder. You can roll over onto the outer edge of that right foot. You can remain upright in your lizard, or you can bring the forearms down to blocks or forearms down to the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Using this lizard to really get into that right outer hip. I've noticed my calves and my hips have been super tight, just kind of sitting a lot more than I usually do being around the house. And that's where yoga comes in. Just moving the body with breath. Good, now in this lizard, you can remain in your lizard, or you can come up where your wrists are directly under those shoulders. Lift the left toe or left foot off the floor. Putting more weight on your left hand, reach back with your right and grab for that foot. If you have a strap, it'd be nice to strap that. Again, padding under the knees. Whenever you lift and pull that foot, it adds a little extra weight to that knee. Or remain in your lizard, lowered down. Just breathing here. 2 more breaths in this variation of lizard. Good, now from here, lower that foot down. Place the right hand on the ground. If you were lowered, come upright from your lizard. Tuck the back toes, lift up, come back to a 3-legged down dog where you fire hydrant that right hip. Nice. Now from here, put that foot down so you're in a downward facing dog. You can take your vinyasa where you roll forward to plank, lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. You can also just hold your plank. Again, child's pose always an option. And then in 2 more breaths, make your way back to a downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, we'll lift the left leg up, bring it between the hands, and come into high lunge on the other side. So our left knee is bent, right foot is straight on the balls of that on the right toes, or you're lowering down to that right knee. Hands are at heart center, or hands are up in the air. Again, if our arms are up, make sure we're not hugging the shoulders to meet the ear. We're drawing the shoulder blades down. Sometimes that means you end up getting a slight bend in the elbows, and that's okay. 2 more breaths in this high lunge. Lifting that right kneecap up, engaging that right quad. Good, 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. From here, bring your hands to heart center, look down, and whether you're in low lunge or high, place the hands inside the left foot as you lower down onto that right knee. Heel toe the left foot so that the toes are off the mat, the heel is on, for lizard on the left. Again, you can remain upright with shoulders over wrist, or you can lower forearms to blocks or forearms to floor. You can keep the sole of the left foot on the ground, or you can roll to the outer edge of that left foot. Nice. Breathing in and breathing out. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Now again, remain in your lizard down here, or feel free to come up onto your hands. Lift that right leg up, more weight in the right hand as you reach back with your left, grabbing the right foot. Getting a little bit more of a quad stretch, pulling that foot towards your bottom. Staying here, or in a more traditional lizard. Wherever you're at, though, you're having a non-judgmental approach to your practice, which means just because you see what I'm doing doesn't mean you have to. You're listening to your body and what feels good. And you're knowing that wherever you're at is right where you need to be. A key fundamental part of yoga is you begin where you're at. So where you're at is just right. Okay, from here, lower that foot down. Everyone come back onto your hands. Tuck those right toes, lift up into a 3-legged downward facing dog where you fire hydrant that left knee. Then lower that foot down. You can stay in your downward facing dog or come into a vinyasa of your choice. Everyone's going to meet back in downward facing dog in 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. From our downward facing dog, lift your right leg up, bring it between the hands, and plant the back foot, rising up to a warrior 2. Now in warrior 2, my right knee is over the right ankle. I'm pushing into the outer edge of that left foot, and my arms are to a T. Gaze is over the right fingertips. Really push into that outer edge of the left foot. That lifts the left foot arch and gives you a more equal foundation in both feet. Good. From here, you're staying with your arms to a T. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Now very gently begin to straighten the front leg, and we're coming into triangle. So come forward, place the right hand down, left hand up. Now right hand can fall on a block, on your shin, or on your ankle. Gaze is down or up at the left fingertips. Breathing in and breathing out. What you don't want to do in triangle is pike so much forward. So if you're piking forward, raise the foundation. Even bringing the right hand to the right hip. Good. Now from here, you're staying with your triangle pose, or you're bringing the left arm over the left ear. You're staying here, or you're working your core by lifting the right arm parallel to the left for 3 breaths. Hold here, either in triangle or working the core with arms parallel. Inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 1. Gently bring your hands to your waist and rise up. Now from here, we're going to rebend the right knee. Place your right arm on your right thigh. Extend the left arm overhead. This is extended side angle. Same thing though, our right knee is over our right ankle, and we're pushing into the outer edge of that back foot. Breathing in and breathing out. Now from here, you can stay in your traditional kind of extended side angle, or if you're feeling it, you can work the core, take that right arm and bring it parallel to the left for 3 more breaths. Bringing both arms parallel, or your right arm on your thigh. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands down to your waist and rise back up. From here, you're going to bend that front knee, place the hands down, step back into a plank. You can take your vinyasa or meet us in downward facing dog. Just using your breath as your guide. Knowing when you're pushing too hard, when the breath is strained, or when you're just kind of hanging out. Finding that middle path between the two. From our downward facing dog, we'll lift the left leg up, bring it between the hands, plant that back foot, and rise up to your warrior 2. Now in your warrior 2, your left knee is over the left ankle. We're pushing into the outer edge of that back foot. Arms to a T, gaze to the left. Really breathe in and breathe out. And if you're surfing, try and bring so the shoulders are in line with the hips. By having that non-judgmental approach to your practice, knowing it's okay if alignment isn't perfect, as long as we're moving safely and breathing, feeling no pain. Good. Now from here, you're going to strain that front leg. Hinge towards the left. Bring that left hand either to the waist, thigh, block, shin, or ankle. Right arm up. Gaze is down or up at the right fingertips for triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now you're staying in triangle, or from here you're taking the arm variation of bringing the right arm overhead, staying here, or lifting that left arm parallel to the right. Really working that core, the obliques specifically. 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to your hips and rise up. Rebend that front knee. Bring the left arm onto that left thigh. Right arm up for extended side angle. Same thing though, we're pushing into that outer edge of that back foot, trying to get equal foundation in both feet. Stay here for a couple more breaths. An extended side angle, we are trying to kind of twist to bring the chest towards the ceiling. So try and work on that. And you're staying here, where at this time you're lifting the left arm parallel to the right for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands to your waist and rise up. Restrain that front knee. Rebend the left knee, hands to the ground. Step back into your plank. You can take vinyasa of your choice or meet us in a downward facing dog. Good, guys. Now from this downward facing dog, we're going to lower down onto our hands and knees. Scoot your feet to the right as you sit to the left and bring your feet forward, preparing for a forward fold. But with the seated fold, we're going to take our right ankle above that left knee, kind of like we did for thread the needle. So my right ankle is above the left knee. The toes of both feet are flexed. So my left toes are flexed facing towards me. My right toes are flexed facing my knee. From here, place your hands alongside the hips, straight spine, chin parallel to the floor. This is staff pose. And from here, you're going to begin to hinge forward, walking the hands alongside the body. You can grab a strap and place it around that left foot. Just keep those right toes especially flexed, protecting that knee. Now from here, if you can, bring your forearms to the ground so that your right toes are kind of wrapped around that left shoulder or the left arm. You might not be able to do that, but just sort of feel what that might be like to bring the forearms to the ground. We're going to play with flying pigeon in just a couple minutes. And this is a great way to see kind of where you're at with your flying pigeon. This is the shape you would make, but on your hands. Good. Now from here, lift up, straighten that front leg, the right leg, hug the left knee to the chest, and bring the left ankle directly above that right knee. Flexing toes of both feet, sitting up nice and straight as you begin to walk the hands forward. Again, kind of reaching for those right toes, or if you can, having a non-judgmental approach to your practice. See if you can bring the forearms to the ground and wrap those left toes around the right arm. Staying here, flexing the toes of both feet. Good. Now from here, we're going to rise up, place our feet on the ground, the width of the mat, and come into that squat. So in our squat, our hands are at heart center and we're pushing into the legs. My toes are facing the outsides of the mat. You're staying in this squat, or once again, we're going to work a little bit by raising the arms up. Staying with your hands at heart center or arms up for 3 more breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Good. Now bring your hands to the floor and come into hands and knees. We're going to play with cow face legs. If you're unable to access this seated, feel free. I'll give you a variation, but you can also come to your back and do what we did reclined. From here, take your right leg and wrap it around the left. So right now my right knee is above the left knee, or in front of the left knee, and my feet are in that V shape. From here, you're going to sit in the shape you made. So, I'm not sitting on any heels. If you have blocks, you can elevate the hips by sitting on a block. If this is too much, you can straighten the left leg so it's only your right that's bent. But wherever you're at, once you're in your seat, your spine is upright and you're beginning to hinge forward. Either both knees bent or left leg straight, right knee on top. This is cow face legs. Again, we did this in the warm-up on our back. If you're not feeling the legs straight or both knees bent, just go onto your back and hinge forward. We haven't really worked much with the shoulders. You can take cow face arms if you want, but they're not as open as our hips right now. One more breath. And then from here, you're going to rise up. Bring the left knee underneath the right ankle. We're coming into double pigeon. So right now, my right ankle is above my left knee. My right knee is above my left ankle. Now, if you're like me and have kind of tight hips, you might have some space between that right knee and the left ankle. Either way, you're flexing both feet. You can put a prop here, like a block or a blanket. Staying upright. We're beginning to hinge forward. Just flex both toes to protect both knees. And again, if you can't come into this where you're stacked knee on ankle, you can come into an easy cross-legged position as you fold forward. Having that non-judgmental approach to your practice. Good. Now from here, lift up, and we'll return to our hands and knees, doing cow face on the other side. Just take a minute, and from here, take the left leg over the right, so that my left knee is now in front of my right. Bring my feet out to a V and sit in the position, or in the space that you made. Left knee over right knee. If that's too much, extend the right leg straight out or come reclined. Wherever you're at, you're sitting nice and tall. Or if it feels good, you're beginning to hinge forward. Again, you can take cow face arms. We haven't worked too much with the shoulders today. Do that on your own if you want. Hinging forward. Feeling that in our left outer hip. Or really feeling it wherever your body needs it. Okay, from here, walk your hands back up alongside the hips. And then bring the feet so that the left ankle is above the right knee. And my left knee is above the right ankle. Now, if you're like me, you might have some space here. That's where a block or a blanket can come in handy. Or simply stay upright and don't try and fold forward too much. You can have an easy cross-legged seat too if you prefer. Toes are flexed on both feet as you begin to hinge forward. And going where it feels good. Some people can lower all the way down, knees and ankles touch just fine. Some people have space between the hips. Some people stay upright. Protect your knees though, flex the toes on both feet. And have that non-judgmental approach to your practice. Knowing you begin yoga where you're at, so where you're at is just right. Nice, guys. From here, very gently, unstack the legs and come onto your hands and knees. From here, we'll push into our downward facing dog. And in this down dog, just begin to cycle the legs. Get some blood flow running through the legs again with our bent knees and cow face and double pigeon. It might feel good to cycle the legs. From here, leave your hands where they're at and just walk the feet behind. Gently rising up to a stand. Now, once you're in a stand, we're going to come into Utkatasana. So feet together or hip distance apart. Just bend the knees, bring the arms overhead for chair pose. Hold here for 5 breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Gently rise back up. Hands to heart center. Now from here, we're going to play once again with our ankle over our knee. but standing. So this time we're going to put more weight onto our left foot as we bend the knees. Lift the right leg up, bring the right ankle right above the left knee like we've been doing, and thread the needle. Hands at heart center. You're flexing the right toes as you bend the left knee, coming into a chair pose in the left knee with thread the needle in the right. So our right ankle is above the left knee and our right toes are flexed. Now you're staying here, working on that chair pose. You're bringing your hands to blocks, or you're bringing your hands to the floor. Now if your hands make it to the floor, your left knee is bent, and if you notice, now my right toes are wrapped around my left arm. Just like that forward fold. You're staying here, or you're putting weight into your arms, coming into chaturanga arms as you lift the left leg up for flying pigeon. Or you're working on your way to flying pigeon by being in that Utkatasana left leg, right ankle over right knee. You got a couple more breaths here. You can play with flying pigeon, play with bringing hands to the floor. We've been working on our outer hips, and then those quad stretches, we're really working our hip flexors that require the left leg to stay straight. 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice, guys. Now from here, you're going to rise back up and place that right foot down and just give it a shake out. If you didn't fly, that's okay. Working on the thread the needle kind of leg shapes help you get there. We'll do the other side. Bend your knees, feet together. Lift the left leg up and bring the left ankle directly above the right knee, and then bend the right knee. The left toes are flexed, protecting that left knee. And you're staying in this Utkatasana variation. Or you're lowering down your hands to blocks, or lowering your hands to the floor. Now my right knee is bent. My left toes are flexed. If your hands are on the floor, you're trying to wrap the left toes around that right shoulder. Coming into your chaturanga arms as you lift the right leg up for flying pigeon on the other side. Now my right hip flexors are a little tighter than my left, so my flying pigeon on my right side is not as strong. But that's okay. I'm having fun and I'm playing. And if you're not flying, that's okay. You're getting a great outer hip stretch by doing ankle to knee with bent right knee. Good, a couple more breaths playing with either flying pigeon or working your way there. Non-judgmental approach, knowing wherever you're at is just fine. Okay, from here, wherever you're at, come back to a rise, place that left foot down and just shake it out. All right, nice guys. From here, we're going to bring the arms up overhead and fold forward. Plant your hands and just step back into downward facing dog. If you feel the need to take a vinyasa, you can do that. From our downward facing dog, lift the right leg up, coming into pigeon, bring the right knee to the right wrist, and extend the left leg out. Again, you can come onto your back and do thread the needle with the right ankle above the left knee if that feels good. And you're remaining upright, or you're beginning to walk the hands forward. You can come to elbows, clasp the hands, and rest the head on the hands, or you can lower all the way down. If you have any kind of gap between that right hip and you have access to a blanket or a block, you can prop that hip up. Just feel that right outer hip stretch. Knowing you can go onto your back doing thread the needle with the right ankle above the left knee if you have any pain or discomfort in the right knee. You should never have pain, and especially in the knee, you should never even have discomfort. So be kind to your body. Good. Now from here, you're going to place if you were lowered down, walk your hands back so you're upright. Tuck the left toes and come back into your downward facing dog. We'll do the other side. Lift the left leg up. Bring the left knee towards the left wrist as you lower the right. Extend the right leg out. Coming into pigeon on this side. If you have a gap, you can place some kind of padding underneath that left hip. You can remain upright. Or again, you can begin to walk the hands forward. Lowering onto elbows, forearms, or all the way to the ground. Thread the needle, always an option if you have any discomfort or pain in that left knee. People who usually don't like pigeon are people who have some kind of discomfort in the knee. That's why they don't like it. So that thread the needle option is a great variation. Couple more breaths here. Nice. Now from here, if you're lowered, begin to walk the hands up. Stay upright. As you then tuck the right toes and come back to your downward facing dog. Now from down dog, we're going to lower onto our knees. Bring the feet to the right as we sit to the left and extend the legs out in front of you. Hug the right knee to your chest and bring the right foot over the left knee. We're coming into a twist. So right foot over left knee, left toes are flexed pointing towards us. Our right hand is behind us as we lift the left arm up and either hug or hook that right knee and twist to the right. Breathing in and breathing out. Now make this an active twist, which means on your inhale, you're coming out a little bit to create length in the spine. Exhale, you're deepening your twist. Inhale, come out just a little bit to create more space. Exhale, deepen the twist. One more. Inhale, come out to create space. Exhale, deepen. Good. Return back to center and do a brief counter twist to the other way. Straighten the right foot in front of you. Hug the left knee to your chest. Bring the left foot over the right. Flex the toes of the right foot. Place your left hand behind your back. Right arm up. Hug or hook that left knee as you twist to the left. Nice, guys. In an active twist. So on an inhale, we create space. Exhale, we twist. Inhale, come out a little bit to create space. Exhale, deepen the twist. One more. Inhale, come out a little to create space. Exhale, deepen the twist. Good. From here, return to center and take a brief counter pose the other way. And then straighten the legs out. From here, we're going to lower down onto our backs and come into our back bending for bridge. So our feet are flat on the ground, hip distance apart, parallel with each other. My back is flat on the floor. Arms flat, hands, arms alongside the body, palms flat on the ground. Now you should be able to take your fingertips and brush your heels. If you can't, that's totally fine. That's just about as close as we want our heels to our bottom. Palms on the ground, push into your hands as you lift your bottom and then your lower middle back off the floor, grabbing outer edges of the mat or clasping your hands underneath for your bridge pose. Really squeeze the glutes and squeeze the thighs together as if you're holding a block between your thighs. Just a couple more breaths here. Nice. And then release your hands and lower down. Take the feet as wide as the sticky mat and just bring the knees to the left and the knees to the right. Windshield wiper the legs to release tension in that lower back. Bring your feet back to hip distance apart, parallel with each other. We're coming into one more bridge. You can also take wheel. So bridge, hands flat on the ground, push into the arms as you lift pelvis, lower and middle back off the floor. If you're in if you're in wheel, fingertips to the shoulders as you push up into your wheel. You can come to the crown of your head. If you're coming to the crown of your head in wheel, just do so only for a couple breaths to help straighten out. 3 more breaths in your wheel or your bridge.
Good, and as you lower down for bridge, you release whatever you're holding on to. As you lower down from wheel, just tuck your chin and then lower down. And then everybody take your knees to your chest and give yourself a hug. You can rock side to side. Nice, and from here we're coming into a spinal twist. So from hugging your knees, bring them so that they're straight up. Your legs are straight up so your feet are facing the ceiling. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. If you have eagle legs, you can hook those right toes over the left calf. Otherwise, right leg over left. As you bring the knees to the left, arms are at a T, gazes up or gazes over the right shoulder. If your knees aren't hitting the ground on the left, place a block or a blanket under them. It's okay if they don't and you don't have any kind of support. And sometimes our right shoulder hangs, it doesn't reach the floor. Padding under there is nice. If you have discomfort in your shoulder from it hanging, just lift the hand up and place the right hand on the right ribs. Good. Just a couple more breaths here. An eagle leg, spinal twist, or just right leg crossed for the spinal twist. Good, very gently roll back onto your back. Uncross the legs and give yourself a brief hug, bringing the knees to the chest. Lift the legs straight into the air and we'll do the other side. Left leg over right, left foot hooking the right calf. Either way, if you're not hooking into eagle legs, just make sure your left leg is over your right as you bring the knees to the right. Arms are at a T, gaze is up or over that left shoulder if it feels good on the neck. Patting underneath the knees and the left shoulder if available. If there's discomfort in that left shoulder from it hanging and you don't have padding, just lift the left hand up and bring the left hand to the ribs. Nice, staying here for just a couple more breaths. Good. Now from here, come back onto your back, untwist the legs, and give yourself a hug. From here, we're going to come into our Savasana. So let go of the arms and legs. Bring the legs as wide, if not wider than the sticky mat. Bring the arms out away from the body, palms facing up. And Savasana is your time to let go. It's the final pose of surrender, corpse pose. So let go. Let go of your breath. No longer control it. Simply let it be at its natural rhythm, natural pace. Let go of your body. Just allow the muscles to surrender. Allow the muscles to sink and fall into whatever position that allows them to let go. And our mind would not be a mind without thoughts. But we're going to surrender to the mind as well. Rather than being an active participant in our thoughts, attaching and engaging with them as they come by, we let our thoughts go. Imagine a river. Your mind is the river, and the thoughts are rushing by. And in that river is a rock, a nice big boulder. When we let go of our thoughts, we are the rock in the middle of that river. Although those thoughts flow by us, we are unmoved by them. Allow yourself to completely let go, to surrender for these last couple minutes in Savasana.
Go ahead and make your next inhale a little bit deeper. Begin to invite movement back into the body by wiggling toes, wiggling fingers. Take a big stretch with arms overhead, like you're just waking up in the morning. And then exhale, hug the knees to the chest. Place your right arm overhead and roll to the right. In your own time, using your hands, push back up to a comfortable seat. And we'll end where we began. Sitting cross-legged, or one leg on top of the other, palms in your lap or on your knees. Or you can join me with hands at heart center. Wherever you're at, bow your head. Appreciate yourself for coming to your mat today. We usually end practices by saying namaste, which means the light in me honors and bows the light in you. But it's really hard to send love out if you first do not love yourself. So before we say namaste, appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself for coming to your mat to find peace and calm in body and mind through movement and breath. Bowing our heads, we say Om Bolo Sadguru Bhavan Ki Jai. Namaste. Thank you all for coming today to this 1 hour Vinyasa Flow. Again, my name's Diane. I'm from Planet Granite Santa Clara. This will be posted. I'm hoping I recorded it. Sorry, it's my first time with Facebook Live. Otherwise, definitely check out the Planet Granite Facebook pages for the schedules coming up with people recording and doing live flows and fitness classes. Keep bringing and coming to these classes online, whether you do it live or saved. And enjoy the time and space you've created at home to be part of a community, the Planet Granite community. Through all of this, even though we're not together, we're still a community, we're still here, we're still able to practice and flow together. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And again, check out the Planet Granite Facebook pages for more information on the schedules to come.